Sit. Oh, that's a beautiful stag. Okay, 3. This is just proofing the work. Come. Nice, and you did the pretty sit. They are everywhere. You ready, Mavis? Tonight we are setting off on a mission. Mavis and I are going deer hunting. I'll explain more as we go, but the aim is for Mavis to have recall from the deer, which are her highest prey drive distraction out there. And I've been doing lots of work. It's been an arduous task, but I'll come into detail. Stay tuned, let's go hunting for some deer. Thanks for stopping by and checking out this video, guys. Today we're going deer hunting. Well, tonight actually, in fact, but not the type of deer hunting that you're expecting. I'm going to tell you why I'm going through this training process with Mavis, and I'm going to show you all the instruments and everything that I've been doing along the way. So I'm going to get her in the other room. Night is not far off, and then we're going to get prepped and take her along this journey. So to get us started on our deer hunting adventure, we need some quality equipment. But firstly, for the record, let me explain. By deer hunting, I'm meaning capturing some deer on film with my Sony a7S III super low light camera and seeing Mavis's interactions. I'm also going to be bringing out the O-Light Mini Marauder, which is an incredibly powerful handheld flashlight. And then I'm going to be bringing my LED lenser, really super powerful head torch. And last but not least, I'm bringing an e-collar. I know what you're thinking. Do you know why? Because I would have been you several years ago. For those of you that know, you won't be stressed and won't be thinking anything bad. But for those of you who are uneducated, and I mean that with respect in the truest sense of the word, because myself, several years ago, was uneducated on the actual correct use. Firstly, let me preface. Number one, I understand they get used incorrectly all the time. Number two, I understand they get used as a punishment tool, neither of which that I will do. I've been on a training course with this. I'm going to do a little segment entirely on an e-collar and the training involved. So for those of you that want to understand it a little bit more, you can check that out. For those of you that know that, you can just skip that and we can go to actually seeing the work in progress. Now we've got that out of the way, let me preface this whole entire video with why I'm doing what I'm doing. Here we go. So our backstory with Mavis was, we got her at 5.5 months. At that point, she had lived with her mum, Belgian Malinois, and her, well, you could say grandma, but non-related, which is also a Belgian Malinois, 2 very young children, a mum and dad. She had a nice little back garden area, and that is all she saw of the world for 5.5 years, bar a trip to the vet. When we got her, she had no understanding of vehicles, traffic, animals, sheep, other dogs, horses, rabbits, cats, squirrels, anything you could imagine in the wide world that we just don't even think of. For Mavis at 5.5 months was completely brand new, including training. Now, she had no bad experiences, she just had 0 experiences in life. So when we got Mavis home, my number one agenda is to build a bond, to build trust, and to have that pack mentality between us all. And by that, I don't mean the old school Cesar Milanos, I am alpha and everything is underneath, you know, I don't mean that. I just mean that we are a pack, we are a family, and we're going to trust and care for each other, and it's a safe environment. So I'm doing that with rewards and no training. And you could say training without training. What I mean is, if there's a wanted behavior, she will be getting rewarded. If not, I'll just be redirecting it into the wanted behavior. No stress, no pressure. It's just all good times. Showing her as much as I can in a positive, nice way. So she was scared of cars on the road, so I'll be at a distance and we'll just be sat hanging out. She can see that at this point there's a bit of trust getting built. She can see that I'm relaxed and I'm confident. Go check out my YouTube shorts. You can see when we went to the fairground. It's a perfect example of that training methodology. And a lot of my behind the scenes training I am trying to put on to YouTube shorts so you can see what I'm doing. And we build it up from there. Her recall was phenomenal, really quick if I'm honest. I think she's an exceptional dog, and she's just blown my mind since I've had, especially with her having no formal training, her recall. So we started to do stuff with sheep at a further distance as I got more confident. I could trust her. And then I was doing lots of tug work. So I'm trying to increase her development and drive with the tug toy, which is really, really good because it means that I can actually play with her in an external environment where there are other distractions and get that focus on me. And we start at a distance and we keep moving in. Of course, we're never just going to run through a herd of sheep and just pull out a tug toy. And it's like with every methodology, if something that she's not quite happy with, we'll do play at a distance and we'll just keep closing it in. So everything was just going amazing, going really well. Her toy and play drive, her food drive, and we're starting to integrate actual training into it. And it's just been a really fun experience. Then I tested her with sheep, tested her with other horses, other dogs, and her recall was just phenomenal. I mean, there's a lady who does competition sheepdogs, and this isn't, oh, how good a job I am. I think it's a credit to Mavis, not myself. And to which she would literally, after one, come, run, bang, straight in front of my feet, looking at me. And that was with so many other distractions. So I suppose stress tested to make sure, oh, we're doing well. So when we go in the forest, we then go, and I've got more trust because, number one, you know, there isn't an immediate danger. We're in the forest, and I know her recall's solid. When she's coming back, she's of course getting rewarded, and everything's great. So I'm out with Mavis and Badger, my soon-to-be 10-year-old German Shepherd. We're having a lovely walk, and we suddenly stumble across, it would be 10 to 15 metres of a herd of deer. Now, Mavis suddenly saw the movement, and her ears flick up, tail up. Her entire body language and behaviour changed. She now was going into full prey drive. She chased them within a nanosecond. I could see the excitement. I could see us going back all those thousands and thousands of years of millennia into wolf-like mode. So I, of course, at this point do really strong, Dad, come. I'm not shouting because she'll burst through that door. And to which, forget me, forget anything. The only thing that was of interest and paramount to her at this moment was pure prey drive of chasing those deer. And it was like seeing a drug addict find that drug. And I'm strong, very strong. Mavis, doing everything. Whip out the toy. She's not looking back at me. She is gone. So as you can imagine, she could move fast. She's a 6-month-old Malinois at that point, chasing the deer. So I sprint as fast as I can. And unfortunately, I smashed my leg right into a log and damaged my muscle quite severely. Annoyingly, had I have smashed it on my actual kneecap or the bone, it would have been much better. But I actually don't know how. That's how fast I was running, chasing her. And it just completely destroyed my muscle in my leg. I later found out I couldn't walk for several months after. My muscle was in a serious bad way. But at this point, I physically cannot walk. Forget pain. It's a physical, the muscle isn't firing. Haven't got the ability to go through. So I'm like crawling on the floor, trying to get to her, obviously at like 0.5% pace compared to what she was running at. And the issue is, if she keeps running, there is a road. Now, we're not super close to her at this point, but it doesn't take much time for a Malinois and a herd of deer to obviously cover a large amount of distance. To which I'm then starting to think she's probably on the road. So I managed to get a stick. I managed to hobble myself to capture. At this point, you can imagine the panic, sheer dread, and it's a 60-mile-an-hour road. It's not, it's not even, and people drive fast on this road. So I'm hobbling, screaming, shouting, come. And she's just not returning. I can't see her. And I heard a car horn. And at this point, I'm just thinking, my dog is dead. There's a major accident. What has happened? The stress was unbelievable, if I'm honest. I managed to get to the road, and some good citizens had stopped a car and said, hey, is this your dog? Or we're just seeing a dog running across the road. And to which I said, yes, it is. Please, could you just stay there to at least stop all the traffic coming? I'll try it again. So I shout. And then she pops out of the woods and comes. Just completely on another level, exhausted, but also like a drug addict who's just had a hit of their drug, completely wired on another level. I don't punish her. I just grab her and hobble along with my stick, her in one hand, me in the other, off the road. Now, thank the people, of course, amazing human beings, and had to just take more than a minute just to, number one, be able to get my leg in some sort of way that I can continue to walk back, which is quite a distance home, and then understand the situation and the gravity of what just happened or could have happened. I've never had a dog do that to me for decades, and when I didn't know anything about dog training, I used to rescue some Dobermans back in the day, and it reminded me of, bless him, sweet dog was Bailey, and he would chase deer, but it was in an enclosed environment. He wouldn't actually hurt them, he would chase them. I understand that's fully unacceptable, it's bad, and obviously I didn't take him into fields where there was, once I realised there were sheep. But the point being is, I was an 18-year-old boy, and I didn't know what about dog training at that point. But the point being, it was terrifying and horrifying, and I haven't had that experience in a very, very, very long time. Added with the road where it's actual death, including the people on the road, as well as my dog, who I love very much, and also the deer, and just it could be just catastrophic in so many ways. So me being me, we went back to the drawing board. The issue that you have with deer, a wild animal, is that it's very hard to replicate. So there are lots of sheep in this area, the people on horses, other dogs, rabbits, cats. You're going to come across a lot, and I can do it in a relatively controlled environment, and that's what I did. But with trying to find deer or have deer, it's not like there's a pen of deer where I can desensitize her and also increase her willingness to come back to me. So it's very, very difficult. So we went to certain areas where I knew there'd be deer. This would be like probably a few weeks after, because as I said, my leg was not functioning. It was genuinely damaged. I had to go to the doctors and such. So we then had to find areas where deer might be. I went out with the long line. I had like a 20-meter long line. It's a very long line. So at this point, my training methodology is have a food drive, play drive, because she has a high both, actually, if I'm honest with you, and be able to increase that so it's a solid reward versus the reward of chasing the deer. So in the background, we're doing lots of play. I'm even getting Meg to do sort of restricted tug toy work where we're holding on to her and I'm teasing her to get that drive through the roof. And then on the flip side, we'll try to desensitize her with the deer. But it's very difficult. I'm sure you can imagine being in a heavily forested, in the summertime as well, so just growth everywhere, and a 20-meter full of bracken or brambles, the thorny type bush is very, your line is constantly snagging. I went through that for probably a month, and it was so difficult because ultimately how it would work is deer's here, let's just say however many meters. So bear in mind, deer are going to run from you as well. So any sort of sights and sound, they're going to move. I've then got to get her on the long line, allow her to see them, because there's no point, she has to actually have that distraction there to see them, to then I'm to call her back, play with her food or whatever it is. If she ignores me, you'd pop on the long line to break that hyperfixation, to then for her to come and look, and then hopefully the drive is enough where you can reward. Obviously, the distance of you and your dog and the deer is going to be dependent on her willingness to come back. If you're super there and the deer are running, she's going to be gone again. If the distance is long enough where she can see them, but it hasn't excited her prey drive yet, you'll be able to wheel her back in. Very, very difficult for the reasons I've already mentioned. But also, when she would go to, you get closer enough, then she'd just want to belt, and even me tugging just wouldn't work. So then I've just got to fight. And I'm reeling her in, but it's just a bit of a fight, and it's not really advantageous for the training. It's sort of, she's not really learning anything. She's just learning. She's pulling on a harness and she's wanting to get after them, or on the collar to get after them. And I'm just sort of reeling her in. And at that point, it was more excitable that because of that fight, she wants to get at them more and not onto the tug toy. And this is where we come to the e-collar. So the e-collar is something that I haven't had to use. I've been around them. I know how to use them. I've worked with police, military dog trainers, and professional protection dog trainers as well. And so I know how they are used. I understand in many circles they're abused. But if we just talk about the ethical and the correct use, and I do use ethical in the right way, of how to actually use them. The way I've been on a training course, actually, I'm going to preface that as well, an actual full-on training course on how to use these. The best way to describe it is think of it as a long line, as a long leash, but you have so much more control, and you'll be able to actually control the training situation much better as well. Now, you don't just put an e-collar on, put it on your dog and pop them. Well, people do, and that's why they get the bad name. Your dog learns nothing. You're just punishing your dog for no reason. You're destroying the bond. It's just messy and it's disgusting. But the correct way, very, very briefly, is you habituate your dog to, you find their lowest stimulation level, the absolute lowest. So it's just literally like somebody doing this on your hand. You find that level it takes too long for me to break out the entire process of how to do that. But you find that they're level, and then what you would do. For me, the only time I've ever used one is now. That's it. Even though I've been around them for years and years and years, and how I'm using this is an emergency brake. Again, dog trainers use them to like sit, stand. No way. That's not me. Each to their own. I think you can get so much out of your dog doing the way I'm currently doing it. I absolutely don't want to punish my dog for they're not sitting quick enough, not standing quick enough, not downing quick enough. No way. That is where I jump on the soapbox and think that's unethical personally. But anyway, so you habituate the dog. You ask your dog to come. You integrate that sensation by pulling the line so they understand, oh right, this is what's wanted from me. So as my dog's got the back to me and I say come, I will press the button so it's tapping the neck, tickling like that, and as soon as they turn around and about come to me, I let go of that collar, of the buzzer. I let go instantly, so then they understand, oh okay, so as soon as I come back, I understand, so it will be come, da 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 da. As soon as they turn around, look, what's that coming to me, off. And that's how it works. So that's how you think of it, as just a long line. And actually, fun fact, is far less destructive, far less injury prone than if you've got a long line and you're popping the dog. Because there's that snap, when the dog's hyperfixating, what you're constantly aiming to do is try to, in a situation like this, is to break that hyperfixation and then get them back to you. So again, it might be, come on, let's go and play with the tug toy and such like that. So that's the reason how to actually use this. And so you're just trying to break that concentration, but doing it on a long line, genuinely crank the neck. You keep doing that, you're going to crank your dog's neck and cause actual injury. It might be now, but it might also be in the future. So this is why we start to use the e-collar. So as soon as I can give her a reward, that's my aim. That's what I want to do. And after 2 months of solid work, we have gone from, you see a deer, she's gone. It happened to me three more times where she came to deer. We went much deeper in the forest, so there was no road. Like even if she ran solidly for 5 minutes, there was no road. She bolted again, you see. So this is why, right, we've really got to get hold of it. So my life over the last couple of months has been driving around in daylight, because I want to do it in daylight first, much easier, right? Then in nighttime, it's really difficult. And then once I've got some solid reps under our belt of her returning to me, her desensitizing, can then take it into the night where you're going to find deer so much easier. Easier and more frequent in the forest. But in the daytime, it's harder in respect of finding deer, but it's easier in respect of safety, and you can see more. So that's what we've basically been doing. And now we can come across deer. I don't even need a command. This is what's amazed me of how quick this has worked to give her this free life, to bring my stress. I can now go out in that forest and not be worrying at all about deer, worrying about her bolting, running off. I think we've used this so effectively with minimal stress to her, minimal stress to me. She understands the game, and very quick, just turn that brain off from that hyper prey drive through to, oh, I want to go see dad. I want to hang out with dad, play. And I want to try to do a video on this, the whole thing from start to finish, on building the play drive, building that relationship, through to using this ethically, through to her just coming and then releasing her fast, because that was the other sort of thing of come back to me, check in, hey, we're having a great time, go, let's have some fun, because obviously we all know you never call your dog back unless it's a situation where you absolutely have to, and then clip them in, put take away the toy, because obviously your dog doesn't want to be around you. You want your dog to think, this is where the party's at. I love coming to see dad. I want to go see mum. I want to go hang out, and because they're not thinking, oh, I've got to go in now. But anyway, it's not complicated, but there is lots of building blocks to actually get it right. Whereas now, tonight, we are going hunting for deer. That's why I think I bring all my pro equipment, and I'm going to show you guys where we're at with our training, where Mavis is at. But as I said, 2 months ago, there is no chance in hell that I would ever have got her back or even got her to stop in her tracks. To now, we can be around deer and I can see them very closely. They can run to ignite that prey drive, and I know she isn't going to bolt after them under zero command. And of course, if she does, I will use the command, and I am 99.9% sure, without question, she's going to do is exactly what she's told. And that's the beauty of the play, the bond, the relationship, and this. I have to be honest, I could hide all this and just say, yeah, I got some food and I called my dog back. It's a lie. And anybody that says otherwise is lying without question. I absolutely put every belonging that I own. If your dog has a serious hyper prey drive for an animal, there is no chance in hell that you're going to break that drive using simply some food or a toy to start. Now we're on that point where I'm rewarding Mavis because I just want to. Like, she doesn't need it when she comes back to me when I call. But you'll see tonight, I can't physically give her a reward other than tell her she's a good girl. So she's going to get verbal or physical praise by me stroking her and such, because I'm holding a camera, holding a torch. It's just, I'm going to have all hands full. I've got a walking stick. But yeah, that's at least this is to start, and then you can bring in the rewards. And then this, just don't need it. Don't need it. Let's go on this journey and see what we can do. We've got a really good deer hotspot, only about half a mile away. If we don't find any there are plenty of other places here in the forest, so let's go. We have the deer. Oh, I need to get my bigger torch. We have the deer. It's really hard to do with one camera. There's one. There's one. I'm hoping you guys can see this. Mavis has clearly seen it. So Mavis, I'm going to allow it. There you go, guys. Free. So I need. Here's the look. She's wanting to have a look, and I've said free to her. But okay, Mavis, this is good girl. Good girl, Mavis. Good job. Nice job, darling. Bearing in mind that was no command. I've given her no command. I've said to her she's free. But if so just keep watching. There's another one just there. I can't stress how difficult this is to film with a torch. And a carrot. Good girl, Mavis. Oh, that's a beautiful stag. Wow. Hey! That means don't go any further. Come! I think you all know what that means. Good girl. Sit. It's not your perfect come, but I'm going to take it, darling. Watch, Mavis, watch. Free. I'm obviously going to have to keep an eye. I have to keep an eye. I can't just take my focus off because something could just go. She's only just a 9-month-old puppy at the end of the day. But we've got that trust now. And look, she's coming back in the vicinity here. God, this torch is incredible. Mavis, come! I'm just going to pick up my wall. Oh, accidentally stopped recording there. Good girl. Close. Good job. Good job. So we've got the deer there. You can see Mavis isn't hassling them or chasing them, and that's why I'm doing this. And the whole point of this training, obviously, is that I've got control. She's not going to hurt herself, hurt livestock, hurt other people, i.e. running across a road. After that horrendous incident that we had, and I'm confident enough now, the fact that she can be in the presence of the deer, she can smell their scent, and you saw them all run and move, and she didn't chase. And if she does chase, there's a chance she's an animal at the end of the day. I will get her back because of this recall work that we've done. So you might see the eyes there, the deer's there. Whereas if this was 2 months ago, there is no question at all she'd be gone. There would be nothing I would have done to get her back. She would only have come back when she decided. I'm keeping a close eye, and you've got to be vigilant. I can't just be cocky and expect that she's perfect now and she's never going to chase. So, come go! So that means, come to me, my vicinity. I don't need a perfect sit. Hey, Mavis! I don't need her to come perfectly under my feet. So, there, good girl. That's when I say, come on, girl. I'm trying not to blind the poor dog. That's what that means. Whereas you saw the command earlier where I said come, that means come right in between my feet and sit there and watch me. So the deer just there again. Look. Sorry about this camera work, guys. It's so hard. So Mavis is there. The deer are there. Watch. I'm going to call her back in a second. The deer just there. She's there. This is incredible. Mavis, come! I cannot stress to you how much. Good job. Hey. No. Come. So that was my bad. Why I said come, good, I don't know. This is the worst that she is, okay? Right now, this is the worst. Sit! So she's not sitting, but this is where I have to be fair. She's not chasing deer, which are her utter kryptonite, which are just there. It is a drug for her to chase those animals. So what you can see, so the fact, you can still see it in her, right? Of course you can. She's a 9-month-old Malinois with a obscene prey drive. And there's me, typically always looking for perfection. I expect her to come sit, stare at me, perfect. But the fact she's come, okay, free, good girl. That'll do me, that'll do. That's too far. If you can see that. Hey, come on, girl. So remember, come on, girl, just means come back in my vicinity. I've got low-key adrenaline, which I'm sure you can imagine, especially following the incidences, actually plural, good girl, that we've had. Yeah, and you can tell I'm a little bit jittery, even with my experience. It's quite a thing. I don't know if many of you have had a dog bolt before and never come back, but I haven't had that issue for a very long time, decades in fact, and it reminded me of how scary it can be, especially when you've got cars and wild animals involved. There you go, there's the deer. Mavis, walk. So the issue is I don't have my hand on the e-collar just in case, but I have enough trust. Where have they gone? There they are. So they're coming away from us and they're slowly walking, to be fair, they're not running. So where Mavis is just here. God. Can I be honest? I don't know what's more stressful, me trying to capture the footage or me make sure that Mavis doesn't let me down. So they're probably going to run in a minute. Mavis, sit. Sit! Sit. She's not sitting, but she's just... So you can see them. Sit! Oh, bless her. To be fair, she's come to me in a sit here. And this is just proofing the work. Okay, free. So I'm going to let her be free. There's the cars, hence why I had that really scary incident. And she's not hounding them, she's not chasing them, she's not sprinting after them. She's just following the scent. So come! I can see them there. She's really quite close to them, to be fair, and they're just stood still. And here she goes, comes back. Good girl. Free. And they're just there. Can you see just in the trees there? Maybe it's just... So she actually likes just the scent itself, even though the deers are there. And I don't mind, I'm not going to just restrict her on every aspect of her life. She can smell the deer scent and have a good time with that. As long as she doesn't chase the deer and she comes back when called, that's all I'm wanting. For me to be in this vicinity, to be so relaxed, obviously I'm holding a torch and the camera. I don't have any, my hand on the e-collar, and I haven't all night because we've got that trust. We'll stop for a quick break. We're going to look for some more deer. I think Mavis already is. I was really pleased to actually share that success with you all. And we're going to, hunt for some more. We're going to go to another little wood now, so stay tuned and let's go for more deer hunting. You ready, Mavis? There's some more in there. You won't pick them up on camera just yet. You might see the glint of the eye just a little bit there. So, oh yeah, holy smokes, there's a lot in there. So Mavis is down there. Again, sorry for repeating myself, but I'm just trying to give you the experience. Mavis! So I don't want to call her like as such. Mavis! There you go, good girl. I don't want to use the come command because I know she's not. There we go, look. Wow, look at those guys. 1, 2, 3. Oh, they're so beautiful. Mavis is just in there. Oh man, this is tricky. Okay, go. The fact I'm sending her in, by the way, is crazy. Knowing she's going to come back one way or another. And that's the power of the e-collar. I think we might have disturbed them a little bit there. I'm sorry, dear, but we're not harassing them or causing them a load of distress. No different than if I'm just out here on a walk. Mavis, wait. Walk. Good girl. So she's now just beside me. There they all are. There's the deer. Okay, free. Okay, I'm just going to walk actually. Mavis, walk. I'm going to walk alongside her. Sorry guys for the shaky footage. We're not very stealthy with me breaking every branch in the forest. There they are. And I sent free. Should have been going ballistic. It's amazing how tame they are really, the deer, isn't it? So for my experience right now is, and there's another deer straight ahead, I'm so much more relaxed. I'm enjoying the walk. This is quite exciting actually. But it's like hunting without hurting the animals. And there they are, can you see all of them there? And Mavis is there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put my hand on the collar just in case, right? Have to be pragmatic. So they've just bolted. Come! So I can hear her coming back. There she goes. Good girl. And that's what it's all about. Nice. And you did the pretty sit. Hey, watch. Watch. Free. Good girl. I'm lifting my head up and the torch so I'm not blinding her. And do you know what, guys? I think that's it, right? Hopefully you guys can see the solid recall I've got with Mavis, with the deer, and that's me pushing it. Realistically, we're not going to be walking through a herd of deer like that, but I need to proof the work. We need the extreme circumstances so we can see she comes back. We've got the recall, we've got the control. We'll just, I wouldn't be letting her get that close going forward. She'd just be walking with me, because again, I don't want to upset the wildlife. We want to be part of it, but I also need to make sure that I've got trust that she's going to come back to me, and we're not going to have any issues. And that's the whole point of this, and it is certainly going to be work in progress. This isn't just it done. Of course, just like everything with dog training, you've got to keep up on it. I can hear so much. They're just there. They are everywhere. I'm literally talking to you guys on camera, and there they are. So you can just see, again, we would not have done this 2 months ago. She would be gone. I would not be getting her scent. She knows they're there. That's why she's acting like this. She knows they're there, but she'd have just gone. And it's just so nice. I can be with you guys. I don't need to put her under any control. She's all good. We're all good. And that is when you put the time, effort and energy into dog training, you get the results.